all I've got to say now is all hail the egg, which leads me on brilliantly to say that we have now got a new merch store up, allhailtheegg.com. Hello everyone, welcome. How do I do that? Oh, wait a minute. I'm only any good on Red Bull. Hello everyone. That sounds terrible. Yeah, I know. You wouldn't think I'd do this for a living, would you? So this is my Vitus E-Sommet VRX. That's what it started life as. It's a 170mm kind of travel enduro bike. It does everything. It's got a mullet wheel set up on it, which means 29-inch front wheel, 27.5-inch rear wheel. And we're going to have a quick look at it. So let's start at the front then with that 29-inch front wheel. I'm a big fan actually of the mullet setup. It definitely makes the bike turn a lot better. The bikes have got these really big long wheelbases now. I mean, this Vitus, it is really long, but it rides incredibly well, and probably a lot of that to do with is that, you know, that chain stays quite short on it with that smaller back wheel. So I'm a big fan actually of the full mullet setup. Works for what I want, what I use this bike for. I've started waffling, haven't I?
What size bike do you ride? Good question.
I run the XL size, and there is no other option for me. That said, I wouldn't want this XL to be any bigger, but it feels right. They are long. All the bikes have got longer and longer. It isn't really so much about that measurement as much as that one anymore. But the XL, perfect for me, especially when I like it probably more when I'm stood up. There's so much room in the front, you know, it's nice. So yeah, I'm a fan of the way the geometry's gone on them, and you know, this bike, it's big, it's slack, it's long travel. Yeah, it's everything I could want really. It's absolutely perfect. It really, I mean, yeah, they're like fucking downhill bikes, aren't they? Really, like they haven't got quite that stability, but they're not far off now. They're really not. And with the extra weight of the e-bike, I think I probably prefer it on the downs as well now. It just sort of sits there, and don't know, I've enjoyed learning how to ride them, and I still am. It's an enduro bike, 170 travel forks is what it comes with, about that in the back as well. Schwalbe tyres, I mean, amazing tyres, goes without say. Honestly, they're that good that I pretty much only run Magic Marys all year round. I do have some dirty Dans that I put on sometimes in the winter if I've got a shoot or something, a trial shoot where I'm going to get smoked in the mud. But honestly, oh, hang on, I ain't got one on the back. We'll go again, don't worry. We'll go again. I use spank wheels this year, actually. I'm moving over to Mavic for 2022. Mavic wheels are going to be incredible. I raced on them my whole career when I was pro. To me, the strongest wheels out there. I can't wait to get them. I've been saving these little bad boys as well. So, Petey, don't moan about me not using them. I'm keeping those for the Mavics that are coming. You know, as you can see, the gold Ohlins, set off with the gold Pembrey pedals. These might be the finishing touch. So in the front, I run about 25 PSI mostly. And in the rear, I'll always run 4 or 5 PSI more. So 28, 29 in the back. You know, if I go to a bike park when you're slamming berms and you're getting a bit of tyre roll, then I might go as much as 28 in the front and even maybe up to 32 in the back sometimes, but only in the summer when the tyres are a bit softer with the heat. But you know, the tyre pressure thing, the rear tyre being a bit harder comes from downhill racing. Of course, it means it shouldn't grip quite as much as the front, promotes better handling. You know, you can definitely maybe feel the difference in your riding, but quite hard to put your finger on it, to be honest. But this front tyre is a Schwalbe Magic Mary. I've been with Schwalbe a good while now. Amazing tyres. The super gravity casings work perfectly on an e-bike to me. You know, they haven't got the weight of a downhill bike, but they're plenty strong enough for the extra weight. What is this on the front? A 2.4, is it? Probably a 2.4 or a 2.5 on the front. I go about as wide as I can without going silly, but around the 2.5 mark. Usually go for the soft compound as well. Just gives them maybe a little bit more grip. But the Magic Mary on the front there, I mean, that's my go-to tyre. Usually I'm running them front and back actually, but yeah, I just leave them on all year round. Faultless tyre, absolutely incredible for what I do. Do I look like I don't know anything about my bike here? So I got a 203. So the XT brakes, you know, so powerful. And I've got these Ohlins suspension. Now the Ohlins suspension is relatively new to me, and as expected when you're dealing with Ohlins, it is mind-blowing good. On the small stuff, they work so sensitively, and on big hits, like if you overjump a jump or something, they are just so plush. And, you know, someone said to me actually when I was coming over Ohlins that they're quite hard to set up, but that's bollocks, to be quite honest.
Who said they were hard to set up?
Brayton.
Of course it is.
So the difference between Ohlins and most of the other brands out there, certainly the brands I've used, is the fact they have two air chambers, a negative in the bottom and a positive in the top. And I write down what I have in each chamber. I did it with with just a single air chamber as well, how many tokens, etc., the settings of the compression, the rebound, so that I can always know where I'm at, and when I change things I know where I've been. I can go back to them if it's not as good. At the moment, and I was running 265 in the bottom, I've gone up to 280 psi in the bottom, and in the top I'm running 150 psi, and like they're stiff, they don't bottom out, but they're still super supple. One thing I did find a bit different with the Ohlins is that I've always stayed away from using the compression settings on a fork, but on these Ohlins they work brilliantly with it. And I've actually, I believe, gone on 9 clicks here. So I've got 9 from all the way off. I've got 9 clicks of low speed compression on. So much adjustment, so much to play with, but you know, as expected, when you're dealing with Ohlins, they're going to perform. Looking at the cockpit on the bike, Renthal stem, 50mm, 40mm Renthal rise on the handlebars, a little 5mm spacer under there. Remember, I got a 180 fork, a 29-inch front wheel, and this 40mm bar. So the bars are quite high actually, but I am 6'5". One thing that people always comment. Now, yeah, and I am in a good position where I can pick and choose a little bit what I want to use. Renthal and Ohlins, you know, they go well together, both from motorbikes, both gold-ish. Love that. But yeah, so people always comment on my lever position. And if I put the bike level, does that look level to you, TJ?
What do we put it on the ground?
Do you mean put it on the ground?
It's level, isn't it?
Yeah, get a side angle of them levers. Are they up or about flat? They should be almost like horizontal out from the front.
Flat, I'd say.
Yeah, look. So, you know, people laugh at my lever positions. Incredible, really. These are actually lower than I used to have them. They used to be slightly up. And I can tell you why. It came from motorbike trials back in the day that I started on when I was a kid. And as motorbike trials progressed and people started hopping the front wheels about, you know, they put the levers up in the air to get their weight back to make it lighter. And of course, as the pros did it as a kid, I followed suit. They were up here at one point. If you hit a step, you'd probably break your fingers. And then when I went into downhill, and you know, back in the day, I was racing in like Nike Airs and pedals that didn't have any pins in. It was a nightmare in my era. You couldn't keep your feet on. So with the levers up, it would always push me back when I was coming into a rough turn on a World Cup track. And it actually meant, with all my weight back, that my feet almost like vertical, it was the only way to keep my feet on the pedals was to, so it all kind of fitted to set me back on the bike. And I do probably ride over the back a bit, probably less than I did actually. I'm getting more over the front as the years go on. And of course, shoe technology has gone through the roof now. So it's really not a problem, is it, to keep your feet on the pedals anymore? And also, I don't know if this comes from motorbikes or not as well, but I max these out. Like, they are always absolutely on the stop to get these levers out as far as I can. I don't like much free play at all. If I had my way, I'd actually have even less free play, but I can't really deal with anywhere in the brake pads. As soon as those levers aren't like exactly where I want them, new pads have to go in. So yeah, I can be quite fussy on a few things. The frame on her, the Vitus frame, is this beautiful aluminium. I'm a massive fan of aluminium bikes. The welding, I don't know, it just does something for me. You've got the internal battery in here. Looks a lot nicer, of course. 625 watt in there. and that matched with the Shimano EPA engine. The engine on a mountain bike, the greatest invention ever in mountain biking. I mean, this literally on its own is what made me fall in love with mountain biking again. Now they're actually decent, and now they actually go where they should go, and you can ride mountains on them. For me, the biggest, I think, advantage over the old Steps motors is the efficiency of it. Like, you know, I rode in trail mode on that 625 battery. I rode 37 miles in one go, which is pretty incredible with me being, what, 17 stone nearly. So yeah, they've come on. I mean, they're good enough now for a decent day out, really. Look at these. Look at these. Like, just look. That is British engineering at its finest. The Pembrey pedals are like no other. They are concaved this way, not this way, and your feet just sit into them like a comfortable slipper or something that will not slip or slide. The pins are perfect, foot placement on there, easy. Yeah, they're amazing pedals. I absolutely love them, and of course the quality is second to none. The Ohlins rear shock, I can't tell you the settings on that exactly. Should we have a look? Should we have a look? I found something I didn't even know about. For the first time since I've been riding e-bikes, I went to a coilover shock on it, not an air shock. And I've been using air shocks, and of course, as you know, they feel amazing. You can change the, you know, by the pound, you can change the stiffness of them. But I did find sometimes with the combined weight of me and this e-bike weighing in at about 20 stone, that sometimes jumping, and if I'd land in a hole, like I would just blow through that air shock, blow through the travel, and the bike would actually stall. I nearly went over the bars a couple of times. So I feel like a coil shock stands up to the weight and the abuse better. I've put one on here. I absolutely love it. It's pretty stiff setup on it. I still use all the travel though, of course, when I'm riding. But yeah, I don't think I'll go back from a coil shock now. I mean, the weight, extra weight, don't really matter on an e-bike, does it? I ain't got to pedal it. So apart from the brakes, the only other original part from the original build of this bike is the drivetrain. The cranks on e-bikes are pretty short actually, 165 on here, and they're good. I have tried 170s as well, but not really on the bike I use for the parks and sort of downhill and enduro, whatever you want to call it. But sometimes for XC riding there on the other one, I've put 170 cranks on.
Don't these bikes come with a black down tube protector?
Yes, they do, TJ. Well spotted. A little bit of custom there. Do you like that? I got a bit of Fablon, cut around it, heat gun, and just sucks it on there. Looks good, doesn't it, or not? I mean, if you're factory, I feel like sometimes you've got to do a few factory things. If you're really factory, then I guess
the same colour as the bike, wouldn't you?
I guess that the factory would do it for you. It's pretty close. Sorry that my Pantone isn't exactly as you expected, TJ. So the drivetrain is the only original bit left on the bike. 165 cranks on e-bikes, which feel great. Obviously, they do run a little bit less clearance. The bottom bracket is lower to the ground than on a normal bike. So the 165s, I mean, I raced on those anyway on normal bikes downhill, so they're good. No problem there. I'm not powering the bike. I don't need big long cranks. Let's get them out of the way. That'll be an XT chain, XT block, XT rear mech. Absolutely no issues. Works as it should. It's perfect. It's Shimano. It's reliable. It never goes anywhere. On the back, at the moment, I have got an eddy current on there. That will be getting switched out to a Magic Mary. But these eddy currents, they're good. They're brilliant in the summer, actually. They're a little bit less of a profile on them. So that is a leftover from the summer. It is nearly February. I haven't bothered to change it yet, but I will. Actually, I probably won't now, will I? Because like in a month's time, it's going to be dry again. There you go. So that's the perfect rear tyre. It's a super gravity again. It's nice that Schwalbe are making specific tyres for e-bikes. The way the rubber's laid, it's a bit stiffer. These should last a lot longer, although, to be honest, I just don't, you know, it's not like I find myself wearing out tyres all the time. Fox dropper on there. One of the most reliable dropper posts out there. Didn't see that. Oh, check out my seat, bro. Check this. So, last year, the lads at Fabric made me this. Look at it. Sip champagne when we thirsty. Actually, how did Notorious say it? Probably better than I just did. He's the greatest rapper of all time. But I do love the Notorious B.I.G. And I was beyond thrilled when they made me these seats with a crown slightly on the piss over the F and that, yeah. So yeah, I love that seat, a proper customisable bit, as is this from Stem Caps. You know, sometimes the smallest features are the best. There you go, just a simple little R on and off buttons there. Bike's only ever been ridden in boost mode. So that is my Vitus E-Sommet. It is actually the 2021 model. Have a look at vitusbikes.com to see when the 22s are coming in. They are imminent. All I've got to say now is all hail the egg, which leads me on brilliantly to say that we have now got a new merch store up, allhailtheegg.com. Look at the time and please like or subscribe. Cheers, thanks for watching. Fucking hell. That was the worst one yet.